Hi, Jay here, EscobarJ.com, and this video is why your mindset matters, part number 2, step 2, reason number 2, whatever it is you want to call it. And yesterday we talked about why your mindset matters, but we talked about one of the only things that you can actually own and control is your mindset. And when you really boil it down, if you think about it, if you really think about it, your mind, with the exception of your spirit, is really one of the only things that you can control and that you truly have ownership of. You can argue a lot of things, but if you really boil it down, a lot of those things or most of those things can be taken over, controlled, or you can lose control of them. But your mind is always going to be your mind. So and I'm going to go ahead and post a link to that video down in the description. I'm also going to post it right up here to that first video if you haven't seen it. So click that if you haven't seen it. But we're going to move on to number 2 today. And number 2 is going to be, if you're not growing, then you're dying. Okay, and this is the second reason or second step or second point as to why your mindset matters, is because life is about growth and self-improvement. And if you look at nature, just look at anything in nature, animals, plants, stars, planets, anything on the earth, there's no in-between. There's no neutrality point. There's no stagnation point that where something can just sit dormant or just sit, right? You're either progressing and moving forward and growing and learning, or you are not. There's no in between. So a lot of people get stuck in this homeostasis type of mentality or mindset where they're in a rut, they're in a routine, and it can really throw things off and really create a lot of problems when you're just stagnant and you're not actively working on your mind, developing your brain, developing your body, developing your spirituality, being present in the moment, developing your mental strength, developing your emotional strength, and being centered, and your sexual strength. So all of those areas are very, very important, as well as monetarily or financially, right? And you want to be growing in all of these categories. And it's okay to take it one step at a time or focus on one area at a time. That's fine if you're not ready to grow spiritually. I wasn't ready to grow spiritually for the longest time, but you get to a point to where you're just ready for those things. And ideally, you want to be growing in all of them at the same time, and just slowly. I can't talk today. You slowly are growing and progressing in those areas, just one day at a time, and just working on what you can do better than the previous day. So that's number 2. Reason number 2 is that if you're not growing, you're dying, and that's why your mindset matters. That's why it's so important, because if you're not going to use your brain, if you're not going to use your mind, you're not going to maximize it to its fullest potential, then what's going to happen? You're going to lose it. And that's why people who have all their focus on, like say, for example, money or a certain relationship, that's why a lot of them go into deep, deep depression if they lose everything, if they lose all of their money, or if they lose the one relationship that they put all their eggs in that basket. And that's not to say that you can't have a successful marriage putting your eggs in that basket, right, and being committed to that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're not using your mind to grow that relationship, however, and a lot of times people who lose those relationships, who have invested just that but have stagnated and quit progressing, when they lose that, then they go into this downward spiral, this negative downward spiral, and a lot of them get depressed, a lot of them just quit life, a lot of them don't feel like they can do anything about it, but it's because they weren't pushing themselves along the process and constantly learning and growing and constantly trying to push themselves to become the best version of themselves. It's a lifelong process that's never going to end, And it's one of those things that you need to fall in love with the process and not the results or outcome. And when you do that, you will see success. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like personal coaching, paid personal coaching, you can go to my website and get coaching there. If you'd like to make a donation, if you like this kind of content and you find it of value, you can. Any donation is greatly appreciated. You can also go to my website and do that, escobarj.com. At the very least, go ahead and share this with as many people as possible. That is the whole point of me doing these videos, is to share them with as many people as I can get my message out to and with what I teach. So, that being said, subscribe, share, like, follow, subscribe. I said subscribe twice there. Subscribe twice. And other than that, I hope you're always learning, always growing, and always pushing forward. No matter what negative things happen to you in life, just make sure that you're doing what you can control and focus on growing and improving yourself. That being said, I will see you in the next video.